Hey, it's Kley. Welcome to another video. Today, I want to take a look at this Glarry 335 style guitar. I did a video on it last year, made a number of modifications, and wanted to revisit it. Some of the modifications I think landed really good, but others I think could go another step. And so, just a couple other things I wanted to address, bring it up to another level. So let's go ahead and dive in and see what we can do. Okay, so there's a number of modifications I want to try. First of all, you tried these bootstrap P90 style pickups, and I actually think they sound really good. They had a lot of clarity, a lot of brightness, but I think for this guitar, I want it to be that typical ES335 warm humbucker, almost jazzy neck pickup with the rock and roll bridge pickup sound. And this kind of, with this configuration, it brought it almost more into maybe more of like a Gretsch or Dan Electro maybe. I don't even know what to describe it as, but almost more of a Telecaster maybe. It was bright and snappy and kind of spanky, but I wanted to go back to humbuckers. So I'm going to go in my stash and see if I can find some humbuckers to put in. Second, I went to the master volume, master tone configuration, and I really liked that. But the volume control, it was just acting a little funky, and also the tone control ended up being wired backwards. So not quite sure how that happened. But then my third modification is I tried a couple different gauge strings, and I have 9s on here right now, and did not feel like they suited this guitar very well. I play a lot of single coils. I've got my PRS up here, my main Strat right here, so I'm used to that little longer scale length, and so 9s on this short scale length just didn't feel very good. So I'm going to probably try, I've got some skinny top, heavy bottoms, which I think goes to like it's like a 10 on the high, but then the low string goes like up to something pretty thick. So I'm going to put those strings on. So let's go ahead and get the strings off, get the new pickups in, fix some of the electronics, and we'll get this guy sorted out. Alright, I got my 500K volume pot here. We're going to do 500K for the humbuckers. And I'm going to experiment with something a little bit different. I'm a big believer in the treble bleed circuit, but I was just doing some looking, and I've done a lot of research in the past and testing between series and parallel, but apparently Fender has a circuit where they use both. So you're from the input jack, there's a 20K resistor that goes into this, it calls for 1200 picofarads. I have 1,000 picofarads, and then you have 150K resistor. So you basically have one resistor in series and one in parallel. So it's kind of both, and we're gonna give that a shot and see how we like that. Okay, it's a little rough, but this is the 20K resistor that's in series, and this is a 1,000 picofarad capacitor that's in parallel with a 150K resistor. So you have both a series and a parallel resistor going from the input to the output jack of the pot. Couple little quick tips about soldering. First of all, you can see right here with this green wire, I use a J-hook technique. So I basically take my wire and I turn it into a little J, and I push that through the hole, just like you can see right there, and then I solder it. It helps make it nice and secure, but it's not so terribly permanent that it can never be taken undone. Tip number 2, when you're soldering to the back of a pot, I like to take a screwdriver. I believe I used this one right here, and I just scratch up the back of the pot. That gives you a little bit of a surface for the solder to bite into and adhere a little bit better. And then the next tip is you want to have a soldering iron that can get hot enough, because this pot has a little more mass. You know, you think of these little wires don't have a lot of metal mass to actually heat up in order to get the solder to flow. But when you have this pot, you've got this metal casing you want to heat up to make sure the solder sticks not just to this little wire leg, but to the back of the pot itself. So mine has an adjustable heat here. I get up to about 4.5, and that does pretty good. Now you want enough heat to get it to flow, but you don't want too much heat that you could actually destroy the internal of the pot. But typically, in my experience in the past, if I don't have enough heat, it just makes it really miserable and the solder doesn't flow and it just is really bad. So I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so as I solder this to the back of this pot, I'm going to lay my iron a little bit flatter so there's a little more surface area. It's not just the tip of that's connecting to the pot, but this whole flat spot. And there, right there, you can see it start to actually spread out. Now I'm going to maybe even get it just a touch hotter. I'll go up to 5 because I think I got a little bit of flow, but it looks just a little funky here on the top. So I'm going to try again. There, you can see it starting to flow out a little bit. That's a little bit better. Alright, these are the options for the PFs that I have. This is an old Super Distortion. This is a DP103, which I believe is a 36th anniversary PAF neck position. This one also was a DP103BK, which I believe is similar. And then this is a DP223BC, which I think is black and cream. So, I believe the 223 is a 36th anniversary bridge. So these are both 36th anniversary necks. So I got a zebra there, and then I've got 2 of these that are black. Now, I think it would make most sense to take, I don't think I want to do the super distortion in this guitar. It would make most sense to put this 36th anniversary bridge in the bridge position and one of these guys in the neck. But then you're going to have a zebra and 2 blacks. The other thing is that this one is a 2 conductor pickup, whereas these guys have the full wiring suite. So if I wanted to do like a coil split, I would probably pick these 2, even if they're a little bit mismatched. So that's probably what I'm going to do. It's kind of a mess, but these are my 2 pickup leads. Now both of them, the white and black wires are tied together and sectioned off with shrink wrap. The red wire is going here to the switch and also from here. And then the green and silver wires are going over here to ground. So I'm going to test to make sure this is all working properly, and we're going to get it all buttoned up. Also had a heck of a time finding another screw to hold this pickup up, so yeah, I went through my entire thing of screws. That was annoying, but we're making progress. Alright, I have spent way too much time looking through my bag of screws in here. I got one out in the garage. I cannot for the life of me find a screw that will thread into this. So, I'm sick of it. I'm just going to tap my own. This is a number 632. And we're just going to tap a new threading in there. And we're going to use these 632 screws. And it just boggles my brain why there's not standards for stuff like this. Like, why in the world do we have to have so many screws with different... I don't know, it's just really annoying. So, I'm doing it my own way. Alright, got everything wired up. Cannot tell you how frustrating it was to get these dumb screws for these pickup ring holders. I don't even care that these are gold. These are silver, these are flathead, these are Phillips. Doesn't make any sense, but I don't even care. Let's test this thing. Got the guitar plugged into an amp. Okay, this should be the volume. Okay, that's the tone. All seems to be working very well. Let's go ahead and button her back up. All right, the pickups are in, the controls are in. These 335s are the worst, but we've got it all plugged back in. Let's get the tailpiece back on. Let's get this thing strung up. We're gonna use a brand new set of skinny top, heavy bottoms. Let's do it. So I'm in the process of stringing this up, and this is the tuning peg for the low E, and I am so deeply confused. There is a hole for the input, and there's no exit. What the world? None of the other ones are like that. I'm so confused. So, I don't know, guess I'm just gonna drill a hole through this? Like, this is so weird. How did this happen? All right, let's issue some parting thoughts here on the Glarry. Honestly, overall, I really like the guitar. It's a ton of fun to play. It needed a lot of work, but after you do the setup, and I've kind of dialed in the pickups to get a tone that I really like, I think this thing plays good. It sounds really good. It does that 335 semi-hollow thing, and I think these new pickups really exemplify that voice. Really, the only thing I've noticed, I've actually played this guitar live a couple of times. The only thing I would say that I've noticed is that the tuners are a little bit loose, and the tuning stability isn't maybe as rock solid as other guitars. So if I was going to maybe take this thing another step further to gig it a lot, I probably would try to put some locking tuners on, or at least get something that's a little bit more stable. But really, other than that, I'm pretty thrilled with this thing. And for a little $120 experiment on Amazon, plus a lot of time and effort and work, it really has become a very cool guitar. Overall, I think it feels really good, and with the new pickups, I think it sounds fantastic. So, pretty thrilled with it. Check out the Amazon link down in the description below if you're interested in one, and leave me a comment down below and tell me what you think. I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks, bye.